Hey everyone, it's Ian the producer. Yeah, hope your day is going well. It's been a little while since I've uploaded my last video where I went into Beatmaker 3 and the next video was supposed to be Nanostudio 2. I got a bit sidetracked, hence the reason for the later video. But honestly, hope your day is going well. Now, I know in my previous video I did share my thoughts on Cubase's being the best DAW so far that I've used. I still stand by it, so far anyways. Out of all the DAWs I've used, I really like Cubase's. Beatmaker 3 was an interesting surprise because it got me from thinking about the regular track workflow into a drum pad workflow. I used to see myself using it for live performances and anytime I need to do a lot of sample based applications. Also, DB was here for a little while, so I guess that was a bit unexpected, but the next app I'm going to be looking into is Nanostudio 2. Nanostudio 2 is an application that's made by Blip Interactive. It's an app that is made by a single developer, and honestly I have a ton of respect because that application is almost perfect. And let me explain. The things I really do like on Nanostudio 2, one, it's insane Obsidian Synth. That thing is really amazing at crafting really great patterns. I like the MIDI based workflow in Nanostudio 2 where I can make a simple project or I can add layers upon layers of complexity, and the size of it is relatively small. That makes it easy for me to just share projects across multiple devices and people. Speaking of which, Nanostudio 2 is available on the iPhone and on the iPad. I got my iPhone right here, an iPhone 6s Plus, and I've got an iPad Pro, the M1 version of it. It's honestly amazing that I'm able to use the application on both devices. That's a definite plus on this that I just wanted to state here. Slate is another interesting one because Slate is a drum pad type workflow contained directly in Nanostudio 2. I honestly thought Nanostudio 2 would be just for sound design with the Obsidian Synth, but they decided to level it up with the Slate drum pad. What Slate allows you to do is store sounds and play them like a drum pad. You can also use it to record audio directly in the application. And there's a lot of really great and creative things you can do directly in Slate. Another thing I really do like is its design. It's minimalistic in the sense of it doesn't scream like it has a lot of features. But if you've used GarageBand and the Alchemy synth, you see a ton of similarities with navigating through this application because it has that same grayish, creamish UI design that brings a sense of familiarity. But there is layers of customization, like I can assign different MIDI into it. What I'm saying is Nanostudio 2 is a great connector. In terms of MIDI applications, it is really awesome at connecting applications via MIDI. Another thing I really do like about Nanostudio 2, it's the wide amount of sounds that's available directly in the application. I was surprised for such a small compact app. Well, I don't know if I'd say necessarily small, but for such an app as Nanostudio 2, it gives you a really immersive library, and it saves a lot of all the guesswork of types of sounds I'm trying to find. If I want to find something, it's got really great filters that allows me to narrow down the exact sound I'm looking for. Of course, that's if I'm always using presets. I spend a bit of time going between presets and designing my own sounds in Obsidian, but I really like the fact that whenever I'm in a creative state of mind, I don't really want to design a patch. I just want to work with a sound that's similar to what I'm looking for and work from there. So with all these pluses, why is the drawback? Well, I think a lot of you alluded to it. Nanostudio 2 doesn't have a fully dedicated audio track. But it's not really a game breaker for me. Why? Because if I really did want to do audio mixing, I could do it in an app like GarageBand or Cubase's because they've got better audio workflow. Even Beatmaker 3, once I learned to figure it out, I actually got a comment in the previous video that it is possible, so I'll be looking to check that a bit later. For what Nanostudio 2 can do, I'd say it is really awesome. So let's make a beat with Nanostudio 2. The four main components I use for song creation will be drums, bass, melody, and vocals. For drums, I'd say Slate would be incredible for this. The sounds in Slate, they are really, really good. I'm still surprised those sounds are available in an application like this, and I didn't really pay attention to it, but I love the acoustic sounds in Nanostudio too. And there's a ton of other packs I could download to get more. Right now, though, I'm sticking with the stock sounds there, but I really do think that they're really, really good. So let's try the song using this component. A lot of times, at least for songwriting, I'm inspired by the moment or by an idea or by a voice recording, and then I try and share that idea directly into a project. In this case, I had an idea on the guitar and I just played it out.
In my life, I got a melody. In my life, I got a melody. In my life.
So the next step involved sharing the MIDI directly into Nanostudio 2. It just involved me using the share icon, going into Nanostudio 2's media library and dragging and dropping it.
For the bass lines and even the melody, there's a couple of ways to do it. Obsidian Synth is the main synthesizer directly here. I can add an instrument directly from the panel on the bottom left, and I can add a new Obsidian instrument, and I can select the type of sound I'm looking for. The strength of Nanostudio 2 comes with a great selection of sounds and also the ability for you to design the sound you want. So I'm just going to select a few presets here for the bass and the melody.
So selecting the Obsidian Synth I'm looking for, I can customize it and navigate through a few presets. I like to find the one that's closer to the sound I'm trying to achieve. If not, I use an AUV tree application. In this case, this was the sound I thought was closest to the vibe I was trying to achieve. So I use this for now, but you see I'm going to change this to an AUV tree application. One thing that's really important is to keep the tempo in line with the vibe you're going for. In this case, it was 176. So having done that, the next step was just to craft a bass line that would match with this chord. So for the bass line, what I did was I opened up another Obsidian Synth patch. To be specific, I actually used the Obsidian deep bass sound, and I just worked with it to play a bass line that would match with the chord. What I did was to set it into the major scale, but then I transposed it to the key of G major, because from what I found, the song seems to have been in the key of G major. And anyway, I just played along with it.
Now that's not the only way to get sounds. You can actually add an AUV tree instrument in Nanostudio 2. Another reason why I like this, at least the way it's done in Nanostudio 2, is I believe the developer rewrote the way audio unit apps work in Nanostudio, as opposed to the regular way that it was used. I don't know if it's just me, but I really do like the way Nanostudio 2 handles AUV tree. It's in such a quick and easy format. Some applications actually allows me to access their categories and subcategories directly there, which is awesome. And I like the way the UI looks in Nanostudio 2. It doesn't detract from it. In fact, it enhances it so that each application you're using, it's its own unique experience. Speaking of unique, I do make use of unique for iPhone on my iPad. So that's a quick tip if you were looking for an interesting application. But yeah, it is really, really incredible what this application can do. Making a drum pattern, it's all about creativity. If you want to play directly on your drum pad, you can certainly do that. You can also draw it out on the MIDI timeline as well. I personally like to play my drum beats, and if I'm trying to get a particular style, I can download a MIDI loop or bring it from an application like Beatly Pro and bring that drum pattern here.
Quantization is a feature that lets me stay on point. It's something I use depending on the style or song I'm making to help keep the drum beat in time with the tempo. So for the vocals, I used the Slate track to record it. I tapped on the sample icon and then hit the record button. This allowed me to be able to record vocals directly into Nanostudio 2. Now with this method, the audio is stored in the Slate pad, so you have to actually trigger it on the timeline. But that was pretty much how I recorded it. So let's listen to the final result.
I got a melody in my life. I got a melody in my life. I got a melody. Oh, I will not let anything tear me down. Oh, I will not let anything tear me down. Is it just a matter of time? Do you know what you're doing here? I got a melody in my mind, in my mind. Is it just a matter of time? Do you know what you're doing here? In my mind, I got a reason to be happy.
I was inspired in the moment, and then all I just had to do was just to find a way to represent that idea. So I made use of a combination of voice recordings that I did directly in Slate and the use of synthesizer applications done in Obsidian, AV3 applications directly in Nanostudio 2, and going back and forth between some applications. Yeah, this is just a way to bridge a lot of all the knowledge I've learned. Again, there is no perfect way to make music or to mix or to master. Find a creative workflow that works for you and channel it in ways unexpected. That's probably why I actually started this journey of me going through different applications, because I wanted to break away from the regular way of me producing music and just try and create using this 4 fundamentals. Though for me, it's drum, bass, melody, vocals. Overall, what I'll say about Nanostudio 2 is I'm hoping for the day where audio tracks that are similar to what GarageBand can do becomes a thing. But as it is right now, it is a great application. I do see myself using a bit more of it, especially on the iPhone. Now, there is a bit of competition with Cubasis too. I do like what Cubasis is doing. But maybe that's the thing. Maybe I should look at them as separate workflows that work well for me. I see myself using Nanostudio 2 and Gadget together. I feel the best way I'll make use of Nanostudio 2 is as some sort of MIDI sequencer whenever I'm doing linear track workflow. I can definitely see myself using Nanostudio 2 to control other applications. I do know Cubasis can do this, but I feel for me, the fun of Cubasis is me finishing a project. The fun of Nanostudio 2 is using it with an application like Audiobus or OM to sequence stuff together. And the fun of Beatmaker 3 for me is using it in a live performance environment. Okay, that took a while for me to conclude. The next application on my list will be Zenbeat. I feel I do still want to make a few more videos on some of the other applications I've gone through. So I'm not sure how frequently I'm going to be posting this, but if you've been watching this video, I really do appreciate it. It's been a really, really fun process, breaking away from my regular workflow. And I hope you're staying safe out there. Take good care of yourself. See you now. Whoosh.